Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. To this day.
Nino Brown Boxing, I'm back in the building. Shout out to the LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Quick video, man. I am so curious about this welterweight division. I always hear talks that the welterweight division is so deep and it's so stacked. To a certain extent, it is. But it got me thinking about Errol Spence. Errol Spence said he's made it known what his goal is. He's been very consistent about it. He wants to be undisputed. And he's shown interest in facing Canelo. Now, we all know Canelo is campaigning at 160, 168, and 175 in every catch weight in the book. So when it comes to a future fight with them, we don't even know what weight class it'll take place at. But I've also heard Errol Spence, when it comes to Canelo, that's an opportunity that Jermell Charlo has been waiting for, and he's been patient. He's been dealing with the politics and he's been dealing with the bullshit, and that's not something that Errol Spence wants to take away from him. Noted. Understood. All right, cool. But now it got me thinking about, well, you got Manny Pacquiao left. You got Terrence Crawford left. He said he doesn't want to face Keith Thurman. Am I tripping, or is that only 3 fights? I'm not missing anybody. Pacquiao and Crawford makes you undisputed. And the next step is moving up to 154. Well, here lies the issue. The top dog at 154, the guy at 154 that has 3 belts, is a stablemate. I made a video about this over a year ago. While I did not like the move for Jermell Charlo to join forces with Derrick James and Errol Spence, because it slows down the trajectory of each guy. And Jermell Charlo being the top dog at 154, Errol Spence, he can face the Tony Harrisons, the Lubins, the Jared Hurds, the Julian J-Rock Williams, the Austin Trouts, the Nick Dangy Gallimores, and the Terrell Gouchers of the world. He can face all of those guys. But the only guy right now on the PBC side that has the belts is Jermell Charlo. And even though Jared Hurd is one of my favorite fighters, I don't see him and Jermell Charlo fighting each other anytime next year, unless that shit is late next year and it's through an IBF mandatory being ordered. But with that being said, even if Errol was to clean out the welterweight division, so he knocks off Pacquiao and he knocks off Bud in 2021. Let's just say, best case scenario, that shit happens. We have an undisputed welterweight champion. Great. What's next? What's next? Going to 154 just to wait for Jermell to move up to 160, but now Jermall is waiting for his opportunity to face Canelo, Triple G, or Demetrius Andrade. See, this is why I don't like that friend shit in boxing, because things are going to be stalled regardless. Like, so many people are focusing on Terrence Crawford. The opportunity for Terrence Crawford and Errol, yeah, they can extend things out. They can have a damn trilogy. But at what point will the transition from 147 to 154 happen? And where would Jermell Charlo be? And do we have a situation like Danny Jacobs and Sergey Deverenchenko when the camps split and they face off? I mean, that's a fight that I love to see. I just find it interesting because, like, everyone's focusing on the right now, when if the expectation is that Errol Spence is the number 1 guy, he's too big for Crawford, he's too big for Pacquiao, the next logical move is 154, and that's Jermell Charlo, his stablemate. So what's the plan? Errol Spence still young, Jermell's still young, Canelo's still young. So even though with Canelo being as young as he is, unless his knees don't hold up, Canelo has plenty of time to continuously do what he's been doing. Moving between 175, 168, and 160, that's 3 divisions. And fighting twice a year, you have 3 divisions worth of people that you can pick from. Canelo can stretch this shit out until he's like 34, 35 years old. Errol Spence, Jermell Charlo and Jermall Charlo, they don't have that type of time. So I'm really trying to figure out what the hell is going to happen with this, because 154 is my favorite weight class, and I don't want 154 to become some bullshit division because the two best guys, Jermell Charlo and Errol Spence, are in the same damn camp. We'll see how all of this shit plays out, but when it comes to the future landscape of boxing, this friendship bullshit needs to be cut out. If you feel like you're a top guy and if you're on the trajectory of becoming a champion, you should not join forces with anyone that's around your weight class. So if you're a top guy, a top contender at 147, you should not join forces with another top contender at 154 or at 140. If you're a top contender at 168, you should not join the camps of a top contender at 175 or 160, because shit like this, it makes a weird situation. Because the moment Errol Spence cleans out 147, unless him and Terrence Crawford have a trilogy and they seem like they can't even get the first fight squared away, what's going to happen? And maybe that's the tactic from Bud and Bob Arum right now. They realize, Earl's not going to go face Canelo from 147 to 160. I don't see that shit happening. I don't see it happening. A smart thing to do would be to take your time at 154. But once again, Earl's a pay-per-view star. We need championship fights. Patrick Teixeira is not about to fight Errol for that WBO belt. The only other guy left is Jermell Charlo. So once again, we're in this position that we have to just wait to see what shit happen and how shit plays out. All of this 60-40 talk and all of this across the street talk, all of this Bob Arum talk, eventually all of that's going to be irrelevant. And we're going to be wondering, well, what the hell is about to happen now? Because when it comes to Errol Spence cleaning out the welterweight division, outside of a rematch clause being included, he's only 2 fights away from being undisputed. And these are 2 fights that are winnable. One is definitely winnable with Pacquiao, and the other one, I feel like a 55-45 with Bud. But we'll see, man. It's in the Round Boxing. Shout out to the LDBC, and I'm out.